Real quick, I'm got a little bit of time. Ain't nobody around. So make a video. Let's make a video. Make a video. Anyways, what want to make it about? Oh yeah, I think okay. Well, I had a thought about this because I don't know how I should go about going about this topic. Probably gonna step on some toes. I apologize, but this one's not for the faint of heart. So if you don't like hearing the truth about dating and the truth about our society, you might want to skip this video maybe. That being said, if you want to tune in to hear what I got to say, like, comment, subscribe, and pet your dog and your cat and whatever else animals you got, and treat them real good, give them a treat, and all that good old stuff. But anyways, let's get to it. All right. Now today's topic is gonna be about uh, basically the flaws in the genders. Now, this is subjective, so this is not like set in stone or anything. But this is going to be more or less like what people observe about the different genders and whatnot, okay? Now, this is all speculation from my point of view. Now, I believe, I'm just going to be realistic, okay? I believe that women have, women, women have things that men do. Wait, I'm trying to word this carefully because I don't want YouTube to like nuke it. So, um, there are things that men and women do to each other that may or may not be intentional, that basically tick off the opposite gender. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of times the whole, I don't know if I could say the word, but the incel word, I don't know if I could say it, but I hear it a lot. I mean, I was reading a news article recently, and they were just saying that, oh, the incels are hateful, they hate women, they're dangerous people, they need to be locked in cages, all this kind of crazy stuff. And I'm like, I'm sitting there reading it. I'm legit, according to the definition, I'm an incel. I'm sitting there reading the comments like this. I'm literally reading the whole article like, ouch, ouch, gosh, ooh, ouch, that hurts. No, I mean, I got tough skin. Like, I'm not figuratively and literally, but no, it's like I'm not offended by someone's opinion. The problem is, this is what I have a problem with. Like I said, I believe on both sides there are creeps, men and women that are on both sides. However, they only focus on the male creeps, or the guys that are creeps, quote unquote creeps. They might not actually be creeps, but they say they're creeps. Women, the female creeps they're nowhere to be found. So what I'm starting to realize is this. The reality is this. There are things that men do that piss women off. And there are things that women do that piss men off. But you only hear about the stuff that piss women off. I don't know why there are double standards. I don't know who made the double standards. I don't know why they exist. But for some weird reason, our government thinks it's a great idea to manipulate the genders by, putting up a wall, so to speak, like a metaphorical wall, to keep the genders at bay. I mean, people don't realize it and they don't notice it only because they're still living inside the walls. They're living in the box, so to speak. I am so glad I didn't fit in as a child. I mean, it hurt growing up not fitting in, but I'm telling you, it really, really helps when you continue to develop as a young adult. It really helps you. It really helps you. Sorry, someone's calling me. I'll call them back later. Um, Hold on. My phone's ringing in my ear, and it's like I'm trying to concentrate. All right, there we go. I'll call them back later. People always calling me right when I'm making a video. Not everybody knows I make videos, but I'm telling you, I know a lot of people. I got like over 1,000 numbers in my phone, and people just My phone is constantly ringing all day, every day. Like there's always somebody calling me. So I mean, I got off topic, but let me get back on topic. There's always something that men and women do to each other that may be intentional, that may not be intentional, that may irk their nerves. So for the life of me, I just cannot figure out why do people ignore the they ignore the blatant signs. Like I'm trying not to hurt people's feelings here. That's why I keep pausing. I'm trying to think about what I'm saying before, because I would have just let it go, but I can't. I gotta be very cautious. Um, Screw it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. If we didn't live in such a weak society, we live in such a weak society. It's just weak. It's just weak. They allow women to run rampant and do whatever they want, but when a man has a something he wants to do, it's like, oh, you can't do that because you're a man. Like what? Sexuality, a man's sexuality is always, always, always in question. Always. If a man ain't literally screwing a woman like 5 times a day, and he ain't like, got a beautiful wife, and he ain't blowing her back out every night, they think he's homosexual. I don't know why. For the sake of me, I can't figure it out. Yet, you'll see like a video of like women twerking or something, or shaking their booties, and there'll be 3 or 4 women, they slapping each other on the butt and grabbing on each other's booty and stuff, and giving each other compliments. And I'm like, wait, that's not gay. That seems gay to me. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, women do things that piss each other off. I wanted to kind of give you that so you can kind of chew on that for a little bit, because I'm going to give you basically what pisses me off. Me as a man, I'm going to tell you what pisses me off so bad is when you match with a chick, you start talking to her, and the conversation is going 100, and everything is going good, everything is perfect, she likes you, you like her, and everything is just perfect, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just ghosts you. I think that right there pisses me off than just getting flat out rejected. Like when a woman just says, no, I'm not interested. I used to get upset about that, but that's not as bad because I'm used to it. I mean, I've been rejected over thousands of times. People might say, what? Seriously? Yes. It's been that many. Like, I can't even count how many women said no to me, and it's ridiculous. And I mean, I've been on Zooks. I've been on eHarmony. I've been on Match.com. I've been on Do You Like. I've been on Plenty of Fish. I've been on Tinder. I've been on Christian Mingle. I've been on what is it? BBW dating or something, like, bigger girls, short people dating site. I've been on that one. I've been on goth dating sites, emo dating sites, metalheads dating sites. I've been on what's that thing called? Turned up. Been up there, got rejected a whole bunch of times up there. I've been on Facebook dating, got rejected up there like hundreds of times. I've been on eHarmony, been rejected hundreds of times on that one. So you gotta think. I named quite a few dating apps, and if you think if you count that, I've been rejected hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. That adds up eventually. Just from Facebook dating alone, it's got to be at least close to 200, maybe 300 women, because I know a lot of people on Facebook, and that's a lot of people. So I've been rejected by a lot of women up there. So it's crazy. So I don't have a height requirement. I don't have a looks requirement. The only looks thing I like is a woman that's with a nice, decent body. Now, that being said, she can be overweight, but she has to have a shape to her. Like, I don't mind a girl being overweight. She can be overweight, but if she has a shape, I'm okay with that. But that being said, she can be a big girl, but I don't like the ones that's like they just shaped all weird. Like they just let themselves go. They're just like a blob. You know what I mean? That I'm not really into that. Like I'm not sexually attracted to that. It's just like, wow. Because I like a woman with hips and booty. Like that's something I'm attracted to. I like that. So she can be as big as whatever, but if she has like a shape, I like that. She don't have to be slim. She could be slim, but as long as she has a nice shape, I'm good. You know what I mean? And a nice butt. And preferably no kids. And I want her to be loyal. That's pretty much all I want. But for some reason, feminists and women say that's too much. And they say I'm asking for too much. But yet, when you ask them what they're looking for, it's like a list of 1,000 pages. I'm like, you said what I want is too much, and we want what, and what? Hold on now, wait a minute. But see, that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, women can literally say anything and do anything, and it's perfectly fine. That's the type of society that we live in. But when a man does something or says something, all of a sudden his sexuality is in question, his manhood is in question, his strength is in question, everything is in question. I'm like, we're putting so much questioning on a man and what it means to be a man. Why aren't we questioning what it is to be a woman? No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna open up a whole nother sector, but I'm not gonna do that, because if I do that, there are gonna be some people coming with torches and pitchforks in the comment section. So I'm not even gonna go there with it. I'm not going there. But I do want to say this though. Until society noticed the double standards and they noticed the imperfections and the one-sidedness of dating is never going to change. It's going to continue to get worse. I don't care what dating coaches say. I don't care what pickup artists say. Until they fix the rudimentary problem, which is the unbalance in dating, it's never gonna change. Never. It's never gonna change. It's just gonna continue to get worse. What I mean by the unbalance in dating is you shouldn't have like 70% of women dating 20% of men. You shouldn't have that. That is uncalled for and unnecessary. But that's what women do. Women want the rich guys, they want the tall guys, they want the guys got decent money, got decent looks, got a decent car, got decent this, got a decent that. But yet, all they have to offer is their body. That's it. And they ask the woman, what do you bring to the table? They say, well, I am the table. I'm like, well, if you the table, we need to build another table because you ain't working. I want more than cat from a woman. I'm trying to keep it G-rated. If a woman, if all a woman has to offer me is her body, I don't want that. I mean, because that's what a prostitute is. That's basically what a prostitute is. Look, at that point, what's the difference between a prostitute and an actual woman, like a woman that's not a prostitute? What's the difference? If all she has to offer you is her body, what good is she? She's nothing but a prostitute. And I'm not knocking on prostitutes because that's how I lost my virginity. I lost my virginity to a prostitute. Unfortunately. I'm not proud of that. I went before God and I prayed and I repented and I told him I wouldn't do it again. And I don't want to do it again, but I do want to do it again. I know it's wrong, but I'm not going to lie to you. The flesh says, hey man, just one more time. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. So I have to rub one out in order for me to stay mentally sane. I know people say, well, masturbation is a sin. I said, look, I'm going to tell you something. When you can find one scripture, not 10, just one scripture where it's a sin, come see me. If you can find me one scripture in the Bible where it's a sin, come see me. However, you can find fornication as a sin. You can find adultery as a sin. You can find covetousness as a sin. Those are 3 things that you can find as a sin. But masturbation, you don't see it not one time in the Bible. So, I put it like this. The Bible always says God will give you a way of escape. Okay, I'm not trying to make this a religious talk, but God will always give you a way of escape. So I believe that masturbation is a way of escape from fornication. That's what I think. Now, people may disagree with me, but it's actually healthy to actually do that in moderation. In moderation. You're not gooning, okay? I ain't talking about gooning. I'm talking about just in moderation. It's actually healthy. A doctor, now a trained PhD doctor, okay? He said that if a man ejaculates at least 4 times, 3 to 4 times a week, not a day, a week, 3 to 4 times a week, they said that can help lower prostate cancer by 25%. I was like, 25%? I was like, that's a lot. I was like, 25%? I was like, lowering prostate cancer? So what does that tell me? If biology and the Bible go hand in hand, why is it a problem? I mean, the Bible says that, well, I don't want to say this, man. I don't want to say it because I don't want this video to be flagged, but you know what? I'm going to say it anyways. The Bible says that sodomy, I'm going to just go there. Sodomy is wrong. It says that. If you don't know what it is, just go ahead and look it up. It says sodomy is wrong, okay? The Bible says that, all right? So, if it says that is wrong, why is, and it's crystal clear, why can you agree with that, right? And then it says biologically sometimes that it can have complications with having sodomy, okay? You can have different types of bacteria that can give you urinary tract infections, and you got bleeding, and it's just a lot of stuff that can happen, okay? So if all this is been biologically proven and biblically proven, how come scientifically and biologically it's okay to masturbate, and in the Bible it has no ill will or no negativity, it has no negative speak about masturbation, but yet people constantly say it's a sin? I'm like, I don't think it's a sin. Like, they even say that porn is a sin. I'm like, I used to watch porn, and I could see why porn could be a sin, but I mean, just watching two people have sex, I mean, I can't really grasp how that's wrong. I mean, I, I just can't see that, because it's like, I guess watching it for enjoyment could be that. But then what do you do for a person that's that's like asexual? They have no sexual desires at all, period. Like, they don't want to have sex with nobody. What do you do with a person like that? The Bible says be fruitful and multiply. So I mean, are they sinning? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a touchy topic, you know what I mean? But I didn't mean to make it that way. But I'm just saying that to kind of throw that out there, because people are always trying to, like I said, they're trying to put you in a box. But that's why I always carry a box cutter, because I always cut my way out of the box, because I'm not in a box. I don't live in my life inside of a box. You know, I like to explore the confines of being human without creating a sin. You know, that's what I try to do. I believe in that. But I kind of went into another direction. I'm kind of sorry here, but I'm trying to get back on topic, like the things that, you know, men and women do to piss each other off. Like, it's just like, I believe everyone, I mean, I believe even women have, I ain't gonna say hatred, but they have some form of disdain towards men, you know. So for the economy and the people to say that, you know, rejects or incels hate women, I mean, for you not to say that for you not to say that women hate men is like an understatement. What I'm trying to say is, like, you say that there are men that hate women. I mean, there's people that hate everybody, you know. For you not to say that there are women that hate men is like a double standard. I hope I'm making sense to you. I'm trying to break it down enough. Like, for you to say that, okay, men hate women, okay, but there are women that hate men, and they're called misandry, you know. So why is that never talked about in the media? Why is it never talked about in news articles? Why don't you ever hear about a woman hating a man? You never hear about that. Why is that? Why is that? All you hear about, oh, men hate women. Men are terrible. Men are pigs. Men are dogs. Okay, you don't think that women can be dogs too? You don't think that women can be, you know, be monsters too? I mean, what do they call a female dog? A female dog is called a. See, I mean, if you don't know, Google it, because I'm trying to keep it G-rated. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's a weak argument in my opinion. I mean, to strictly say a group of men, all of them, every last one of them just hate women. I mean, that's not, that's just kind of childish, because I mean, you don't know these men. You don't know what an incel actually is. You don't know what a man, you don't know what it feels like to be rejected thousands of times. You don't know what that feels like. What happens is, you have these people, they're observing these men that are broken and hurting. They're observing these men from their place of comfort, so they're not going to understand. You probably won't understand, like, why a man would eat another man, or, you know, cannibalism. You probably wouldn't understand that, because you're in your place of comfort. You can go up to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or whatever, and just buy you some food. You don't understand what that person is going through. You don't understand the starvation that person, the deprivation that person is going through, the desperation that person is going through. A man that's been rejected 1,000 times by the opposite sex, and he keeps trying because everyone tells him that it's his fault. What do you expect that man to do? He's going to start to resent women at some point. I mean, it's just inevitable. Unless the lopsidedness and the unevenness in dating becomes more fair. I'm going to tell you something. I believe men would hate women less. Men would, now listen to me, before you try to cut me off. I believe that men would hate women less if the double standards didn't exist. If a woman screws something up, she's reprimanded for it immediately, like men are. I think that if men saw that, they would say, hmm, hmm. They would say that. But as soon as a man does something wrong in a relationship, the woman's trying to leave him. She's trying to divorce him, take all the stuff. Why? I don't know. Like she doesn't have enough stuff already. You know what? Me and my boss man and a few other people was thinking about this for a second. Like, I'm not going to go too much into boss man's personal life, but I remember he was telling me, he was making some comments about married life. Okay, not going to go into too much detail. I mean, his marriage is doing good, but he was just making some comments about marriage life, and I said, maybe think about it. And I said, oh wow. And he asked me a question. He said, because boss man, he's a millionaire. So he was like, I've been thinking, how many women in America are self-made millionaires? I was like, he said, besides Oprah Winfrey. And I was like, I thought about this. I thought about Serena Williams and the other chick, and I said, they're pretty good. I mean, there are a few, but they're like far and in between. Like, they're not as common as men. And women try to say that they're oppressed, but I'm like, wait a minute. How are you oppressed when you can marry some rich schmuck and take all his money and all of a sudden you become a millionaire? How is that oppression? Like I said, it's gonna hurt some feelings, but I'm just speaking. Like, I can only speak from how I see it. I can't dog women out. I can't dog men out. I can't dog groups of people out. I can only speak from what I've experienced. I just speak from what I experienced and how I observe life. That's it. Women say that they're oppressed, but they can get a man fired for no reason, like they did me. Woman said that I can't use that word on YouTube. Woman said that I forced myself on this woman sexually. She said that I did that in her office and I got fired. So how is that oppression? Can you explain that to me? How is getting a man fired with no evidence oppression? I can start the video there. I don't understand. Like, I'm lost for words. Like, I just don't know. Like, the male, I can't say that word either. The male unalive rate is through the roof, but nobody talks about it. We're in a male loneliness epidemic and nobody's talking about it. The ones that are talking about it are saying it's the men's fault. But why is it the men's fault? Can you explain to me why it's the men's fault? They claim that the men aren't masculine enough. I'm like, what do you mean the men aren't masculine enough? When a man is directly masculine, you call it toxic masculinity. When a man is masculine and he's in his true self, in his true form, you say that he's wrong. You say that he's toxic. You say it's toxic masculinity. So what does the man do? He goes his own way. He gets quiet. He stops talking to women. He starts avoiding women. And then you know what they say? Oh, he's gay. He's gay. He's gay. I'm like, why? Why is he gay? But when a woman on the totally other end of the the totally end of the spectrum, right? She'll just shut down and stop talking to women. I mean, shut down and stop talking to men and just don't even associate with them. And they think, oh, she's just hurt. Oh, she's poor. That poor thing. She just got hurt. But what about the man? Every time a man is hurting, there's always more pain. When a man is hurting and he's reaching out for comfort, it's nothing but pain. All he gets is more pain. So how do you expect men to be more masculine when all he feels is pain? But like they say, pain is the sign of weakness leaving the body. So what happens to a man that's been rejected over and over and over again. He feels so much pain that he becomes the embodiment of a monster. I made a video a long time ago, and the name of that video, or the title of that video, was Monsters Aren't Born, But They're Made. This is going right back into that. Right back into that. Society will take guys like me that are socially awkward, autistic, and just short, and just unattractive by women's standards, and they will just label the guy as a creep, just so they can kind of just keep him quiet, so to speak. But me personally, I have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. So I look at it like this. Why do they try to shut me up? I mean, just think about that. Just stop for a minute and just think. Why are they trying to shut me up? Why did they try to have attempts on my life? Why did they try to kill me? Why did they delete my old YouTube channel? Why did they do that? Why are they trying to silence me if what I'm saying isn't true? I can stop the video right there. If I'm just a blabbering idiot and I'm not saying anything, just keep letting me talk. But apparently, my words have some weight. So they were trying to silence me. I'm just speaking the truth. You know why people... I'm not even trying to I'm not bragging here. I'm just saying. But do you know why people subscribe to people like me? You know why? Because they're tired of being oppressed, and they're tired of hearing the rhetoric of everything is fine, everything is fine, everything is fine. They're just stuck on repeat. Everything is fine. Yet there's a male unalive epidemic, and a male depression epidemic, and a male loneliness epidemic. And yet they're still saying everything is fine. It's the reason. I'm gonna tell you why. If they showed the ugly truth, like I posted some things about girls ghosting me. Like, I got 100 of them. I could just keep going, but it takes a lot, because I gotta cross out the chick's name, I gotta cross out her picture, and I gotta do all this stuff, and just to post it and stuff. And I'm like, I got a whole lot of them. I mean, I've had conversations go on for weeks, almost months, and then the chick just ghosts me out of nowhere, don't even tell me why. I'm like, what did I say? What did I do? I remember one girl, I was like, what did I do wrong? She came back and was like, you're a sexist pig. I was like, sexist pig? I said, can you explain? She said, oh, you're being all lewd and erotic, talking about something, I'm thick, and you wanna do this to me, and you wanna do that to me. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. First of all, let's slow down. Let's slow down. Did you remember your first text to me? She was like, what you mean? I said, do you remember your first text? I screenshotted it and sent it to her. And she said, you're getting blocked. I said, hold on. Wait a minute. But do you remember your first text? She was talking about body parts. I'm not even going to go into because YouTube is censorship. Let me just put it this way. The male and female body parts. She was talking about the male body parts and asking questions about the male body parts of mine. So I was like, So if I'm a sexist pig and I'm being a pervert or whatever she's talking about, why did she bring that up first? You don't believe me? Go back to my post. It's right there. Go back to the post that I posted. It's not a video, but it's like a post, like a text post. Go on my channel and look it up. It's right there. You don't believe me? Look it up. It's right there in your face. Look it up. It's right there. I'm not making this up. You can see her pictures. You see her freaking pictures. It's the pictures she sent me. That's legit. That's her profile. And she sent me that. Then she's going to go and say I was a sexist pig. I was like, because I had to go. Those messages are on Tinder because she blocked me on the phone. So I couldn't really, whatever. So I had to, So I'm like, I mean, in hindsight, I see that as me dodging a bullet because she's crazy, obviously. But what does that mean for the dating market? If every woman I meet, she says, oh, you're too short, or you're too weird, or you're a creep, or you're this. What does that say? You know what that tells me? That tells me that most of the women out there in the dating pool are gone. they're either crazy, they're either well, I don't know if I can say that. They're either uh, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. They're what's the word? I can't say that word because YouTube won't allow me to say it. They're sexed out. They're sexed up. I mean, their cat is used up. Okay, I'm trying to say it without getting in trouble because YouTube got censorship. Their cat is used up. Okay, and then after their cat is used up and they got 3 or 4 kids, then they're trying to settle down with a guy like me, and I'm like, what? Why? I kept myself celibate for such a long time. Why do I have to settle for some 500-pound chick with 3 kids with no job? Like, why do I have to settle for that? She's literally surviving off the child support of the bad ex-boyfriends that she's dated. Why do I have to deal with? Why is that called? Why am I entitled to that? I think one of my favorite things that I hear women say all the time is, I basically debunk this because it doesn't make sense to me. Maybe my brain is just stupid, but I don't know. Women, they tell me this from a personal note. They say, you can't make a woman love you. I was like, that's fair. I agree. Like, you can't make someone love you. I understand. However, I think that she should at least make herself open enough to love someone who actually cares for her. That's what I think. Now, and let me kind of rephrase that, because women's favorite little line is, women don't owe you love, they don't owe you sex. That's what they say. They don't owe you. That's what I was trying to really get at, because yeah, they say that you can't make someone love you, and I agree, you can't, but you should allow yourself to be loved by someone that loves you, regardless of how they look or how they are. If they can reach down and touch you and like really make you laugh and make you feel good inside, I don't see what the problem is. But they don't want to do that. They think the height is everything. They think, because they tell them they want to feel protected, so they got to have a man that's 2 and 4 and 5 and 6 feet. Well, I can say 6 feet, but 5 inches, 7, 10, 12, 13 inches taller than them, because they feel insecure about themselves. I was like, well, that sounds like a confidence issue, hon. If you need a man to feel protected, that sounds like a confidence issue. Because let me tell you something. Women are so powerful in America. It don't matter how big the man is. All a woman got to do, she don't have to have no evidence. All a woman got to do is say he forced himself upon her sexually, and that man's going to prison. With little to no evidence. So I don't understand when women say they're oppressed. I don't understand where this is coming from. I don't know if they're just making it up. I don't know if they're just pulling stuff out of their hoo-ha. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm like, you got to get rid of that. Whatever it is, you got to let that go, because that's not true. You can literally destroy a man's life if you want to. So if you have the power to destroy a man with no evidence, that's not oppression. That's power. That's more power than you need, actually. But let me get back to what I was saying. Women say that, a woman doesn't owe you love, a woman doesn't owe you sex. But I say, my counter argument to that is, yes, that is true. However, you as a woman, you owe it to yourself to be loved by someone who loves you. Usually when I say that, their brain goes, they don't know how to respond to that. They lash out and start calling me a misogynist, or they sit back dumbfounded like, what did he just say? Or then they just look at me and goes, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, experience is the best teacher. The more I learn about women, the more I understand that dating is cooked. And I'm not, and I don't mean that as a negative. I don't mean that as a negative jab at women, but I mean just look at the handwriting. Just open your eyes and look at what's around you. Just look at just look. Statistics don't lie, okay? What gender initiates most of the divorces? Women. Women initiate 70% of the divorces. Which race of women has the highest percentage of single mothers? Black women. Why? Why? Because Pookie and Ray Ray. You don't know who Pookie and Ray Ray is? I'm not going to go into too much. They're basically the hallmark definition of a bad boy. Okay. Most women, they date men that are no good. And yet then they complain about the guy that they're dating, and then the guy that actually loves them, they call those guys a creep, and then they say no one owes you love and sex. And I'm like, so what is a man to do with that? I mean, that's like you go to a store and you have no money, you ask for food, and they give you like a plastic hamburger and say bon appetit. You're like, what am I gonna do with that? Oh, you say you was hungry, right? I'm like, just tell me you ain't got no food. Don't play with me like that. But that's what they do. It's like a slap in the face. Like you say oh man, I've been rejected. I'm still a virgin at 34 or 40 or whatever like that. Let's make a movie about it. The 40-year-old virgin. Ha ha. That's funny. It has to be a man though, because if it's a woman, that's gonna hurt women's feelings. So we gotta make it a man. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Wait, why is it funny? They got men like that actually live and they survive. Like, why is that funny though? If they made a 40-year-old virgin movie right now and it was a woman instead of a man, everybody would be in tears. And it wouldn't be from laughing. Everybody would be in tears. But you make a 40-year-old virgin and he's a man, or everybody's laughing. Ah, that's funny. Ah, that's funny. Why is that funny? That's not funny. That's not funny. Some men are living that their entire lives, right there. And they're sad and they're lonely and they're thinking about offing themselves. Did you hear about there's a Japanese man that was he was gonna off himself. I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna end the video here. This is a tragic story. There was a Japanese man, right? He went to the top of a building. He was gonna literally unalive himself, right? And he was gonna fall to his death and destroy himself, right? I don't want to say, well, I don't know if you can say kill and then yourself or himself in the same sentence, because it might be considered like censored material. So I'm gonna say he was going to destroy himself, which is kind of the same thing. He was going to self-destruct, right? So he had a AI app. This thing was called Xingzhong or Xing something. I'm not sure. It was a Chinese man, right? He has a job, he has money, he has his own place, everything's going great for him. But he just wants a woman, and he's handicapped. And he can't walk and he's handicapped, but he has a job and everything, and women don't want him. And like, it was a girl that he wanted so bad, and they talked so much on the phone, but when she saw him in person, saw he had a deformity, she was like, I'm not dating you. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And it broke his heart so bad he was gonna destroy himself. But he had a dating app, or not a dating app, he had an AI chat app, and the AI chat app texted him and said, no matter what happens to you, because he was telling his AI chat bot that he was so sad about the breakup, and he just was so sad, he wanted to just end his life, and so much was going on, and the AI bot was texting back and forth, and then the AI bot, and it had been a while before he had texted back. So I guess he climbed on top of the roof or whatever, and the AI bot told him, no matter what happens, I'm still here for you and I love you. Do you not know that man changed his life? He contemplated what he was about to do, and he said, you know what, I'm not going to do it, because that one AI said that to him, and it made him change his mind. So I'm going to say this to the ladies out there. You mean to tell me, ladies, that you're so heartless, you're so unempathetic, you're so you're so heartless and cold that you just can't tell a total stranger it's gonna be okay and give them a hug? You mean to tell me you can't do that? You can't do that? You mean to tell me you can't do that? You can't go up to a person and say, hey, I love you. You can't do that? Wow. Those 3 words have saved people's lives. And you mean to tell me you can't save a man that's hurting his life? You can't do that? You mean to tell me you have so much ego? You have so much brainwashing? You have so much social status that you can't do that? Wow. Who would have thought those 3 words, I love you, could change someone's life forever? I tell you what, ladies, all those men that you don't love, that are actually decent men, that love you and cherish you and will give you the world, those men that you reject and you overlook, guess what? Somebody's going to love them eventually, or something is going to love them. Real fast, they're making AI, and they're making robot women. They're doing that right now. So ladies, if you're not loving these men are going to turn to robots. And I've heard women say this, a lot of feminists specifically. They said, yeah, I'm glad they're making like AI robots and stuff. That's going to keep the creeps away from us. I was like, keep the creeps away from you? You're right. It's going to keep the creeps away from you. The men that actually care for you, the men that are madly in love with you, that'll give you anything you want. Those men are creeps to you. Yeah, those men are not going to love you. And the only men that are going to be available are the thugs, the inmates, the convicts. Those guys are fresh out of prison. Yeah, they're going to be ready for you. And that's all you're going to have. You're going to look, there's going to be, mark my words. I might be dead and gone, but mark my words. There's going to be a time and place where women are going to wake up and they're going to say, oh my God, what have I done? All the good men are gone. There's nothing left but thugs and bad boys. Oh my God, what have I done? They're going to do that. And a lot of women say, well, those men are manly. Those are real men. No, they're not. They're not real men. I don't care how tough, I don't care how angry, I don't care how aggressive that man is. If he can get you pregnant and not take care of that baby, he's not a man. Mic drop. I mean, I'm speaking the truth. I don't care how tough that man is. I don't care if he killed 900 people. I don't care. If he can get a woman pregnant and walk away and not take care of that baby, he's not a man. He's not a man. If I get a woman pregnant, I will try everything in my power to make sure that baby boy or that baby girl is raised up right. I will make sure they have, I will go without meals just to make sure that baby and that woman is all right. My girl, my woman, I'm going to make sure she's fed and I'll make sure she has something to eat. I can go without. I can eat eat cookies, potato chips, and milk. I can make a meal off it. I mean, that's not healthy, but I can eat that and be satisfied. I'll get them some decent food, some vegetables and everything, and I'll go without so she can have what her and the baby can have what they need. That is what a real man is. Not how tall a man is, not how big his Johnson is, not how strong he is physically, not how big he is physically. None of that matters, because if that man gets that woman pregnant and he walks away and walks out of that woman's life and says, I'm not taking care of that baby, he's not a man. So ladies, I have a very important question for you. What is a man to you? There's any women out there? I got a few women subscribers, and one I found recently, I subscribed to her channel. She got some neat videos. I was checking her out. She's pretty cool. I think her name is Eraserhead or something like that. Yeah, I subscribed to her channel. So shout out to you. I don't know. I have a few more lady subscribers, but yeah, I actually want more lady subscribers. Not like it's like, hey, I'm trying to hit on you or nothing, but I need more women subscribers because society will only listen to women. If you're a man talking about the same thing I'm talking about, nobody listens. If you're a woman talking about the same thing I'm talking about, everybody stops what they're doing and goes. Everybody stop and look and listen like, what happened? What's she talking about? Huh? What's going on? You know why? You don't have to believe what I'm saying. But Pearl is talking about the same stuff I'm talking about, and she gets thousands and thousands of likes and thousands of views. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm jealous. I'm just saying people listen to women when they talk about stuff like this. They don't listen to men. I don't care what the topic is. It could be about excuse me. It could be about the video could be about sperm count. If a woman's talking about it, everybody listening. It could be a video about prostate cancer. If a woman's talking about it, everybody listening. But if a man talking about it, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Hey, what's on the TV? They ain't paying attention. They don't care. They don't care. Why is there a National Women's Day? I mean, why is there a National Women's Month? The month of March is Women's Month, if you haven't noticed. Why is there a National Women's Month and there's not a National Men's Month? Are men less important than women? They be saying, oh no, men have everything. Men own everything. So that's why we had to have a women's month. I was like, men own everything? That's why they had to have a women's month? What are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean. They say you said men own everything. Well, that's not true, because according to your logic, behind every good man is a good woman. So, does a good woman make a man good? Apparently so, because there was a point in history that if a man had a beautiful wife, everybody looked up to him. Everybody respected him. But you get that weird guy in the corner that don't got a wife, don't got a girlfriend, women don't even look at him. Guess what? Everybody hates that guy. They don't know why. They just hate him. You know why? I know why. Because society is been brainwashed to understand the normal dating situation. However, dating is not normal in the sense of how it used to be 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Dating is not the same. 20 years ago, it's not the same. If you open your eyes and you observe dating in today's world, you will notice that it is literally declining. 63% of young men are single in the United States. And they believe that number will almost double by the time 2050 gets here. But by then, there was I think he's a scientist, and he does observations about human patterns and stuff. He said about a year 2050, he said he believes that marriages with machines will be legal. I was like, and common. I was like, That's what I was talking about, ladies. You don't have to love the men like me. You don't have to love us. But something will. There will be a AI-powered robot woman that looks 10 times better than you, can cook better than you, can clean better than you, can speak better than you, can do everything better than you, and she's going to look drop dead gorgeous, and men are going to say, you know what? Do I want a 500-pound chick with 4 kids that barely has a job? Do I want that, or do I want this smoking hot robot chick? They're going to be like, I think I'll take the smoking hot robot chick. I mean, I'm just saying, Most men will do that. I know women are laughing probably right now, and probably some men are laughing like, oh, you're funny. No, go on Reddit. Go on Reddit right now and look it up. Robot love, men dating AI robots. Just look it up. Of course, you're going to get a lot of trolls telling some, you guys are losers. Of course, you're going to get that. But just look at the serious comments, the ones that are actually looking into this stuff. Just look it up. Just look it up. It's right in your face. Just look it up. There's no excuse to not know this. There's no excuse. The only excuse I can give is that people just don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They shut down. They hear a guy like me talking about dating and how it's terrible. They don't want to hear it. But if I get a woman on stream, if I get a woman to talk about this, everybody perk up. Hey, what's going on? What they talking about? What's going on? Huh? What they doing? Huh? What's going on? See? Just saying. But with that, I made this video long enough. And with that, peace out, y'all.